this is one of my pieces of paper here. So I've just literally scrawled on it this design of a hospital medical cart. I've looked at some that exist already, but the problem is no one's got stock. No one's got enough stock.
Hi everybody, welcome to another AV Asia Pacific Lockdown podcast. Today I have Stuart Lockhart with me. Stuart is Managing Director of Vision Audio Visual. Welcome, Stuart.
Thanks for having me on, Chris.
So can you tell us about the pandemic from your perspective as a manufacturer?
So from Vision's point of view, we went very quickly from, we were at ISE, of course, in February, and we went straight into a panic situation of lots of our factories were affected in China, and we went straight into the mode of trying to think, how can we make sure we get stock in time? Sorry, working from home, and my kids are yelling like we all have at the moment.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's keeping it real.
Yeah. So we flip-flopped from panicking that we're going to run out of stock or not be able to get stock out of our factories into actually China's restored quite quickly, and now we have the opposite problem of, whoa, stop. Wait, don't ship us stuff yet, because we might go, we're suddenly in for 3 months, 4 months of really difficult trading. And what we're seeing is that actually lots of our product, we sell a lot of cables. So for us, lots of cables are selling to set people up at home in their home office. We sell desk mounts and desk arms. They're selling really well. So sales are down, but not as badly as I thought. And actually, lots of our business happens in Spain, Germany, France, and those countries went into lockdown earlier. So I expected them to completely close, almost no business this month, but that's not happening. It's still kind of rolling. And in fact, cable sales are well up for us. So I've gone back into the mode of thinking, whoa, I better make sure I get stock back in quickly.
So how do you read what's going on in Europe for you?
I think we're going to have, for us, a lot of our sales are still connected to education, which is the July-August time. That's not going to happen this year, or if it does happen, it will be late, because no one's in the schools to kind of start planning about the technology refresh. I suspect governments, because governments are in this investment, well, we've got to get things going again phase. I suspect they will invest in education as well and in the refreshes later in the year, but I think it's anyone's guess when it will kick back in. So for us, we expect that it's going to definitely be a soft summer, but I assume it'll pick back up. I just think it'll probably be August or September before it picks up, and then I think it'll probably kind of be kind of a boom time of people getting back on their feet. But I'm guessing it's really hard to forecast at the moment.
Sure. Are there any sort of curious micro booms, as it were, happening at the moment that you're experiencing?
We've been some of the really big B2B customers are being engaged by governments to build things like hospitals and so on. So we're being asked for a lot of mounts and special products for that sort of thing. We don't do medical carts, but we have been asked if we can cobble something together. So at the moment, as you catch me, I'm in the phase of trying to look at what stock I have, because we do, floor carts and things for flat panels. Look at what stock I have and cobble together pieces and see if we can create medical trolleys and medical carts, the things that doctors wheel around between patients, because I need sort of, they need 500 in 2 weeks. So I'm it's not a normal thing for us, not a normal area, but we're just trying to support our resellers as best we can.
And this is what I find fascinating about your company, and I guess you as this sort of visionary managing director, that you can go from having an idea on the back of a serviette to prototyping to manufacture, and then sort of, a short time later, unveil something kind of of the moment, as it were. So can you just describe that process?
It is literally me with a piece of paper. I had some here yesterday. This is one of my pieces of paper here, so I've just literally scrawled on it this design of a hospital medical cart. I've looked at some that exist already, but the problem is no one's got stock. No one's got enough stock, so this is the sort of thing I love, and actually it was how Vision was born, where you've got a desperate need. People need volume of something now. It's got to be logical and work, but easy, functional, all of that sort of stuff. And actually, I love the product as development part of my job, and it's when the gold comes out, when you're kind of under pressure, massive time pressure to figure something out. So my process is literally at the moment, scroll something down, send it to, I've got various engineering teams that specialize in different things. So in this case, I sent this drawing to two of my teams to sort of run with. They've sent feedback, which is what I'm going over now, and we'll kind of try and figure things out. So that's the unusual process we're in at the moment.
And without revealing too much of your secret sauce, but how do you do the prototyping? You don't obviously send that to China.
No, well, depends on the product. In this case, we'll be prototyping probably in the UK. It depends on where the stock is and where the need is for us. I've got different engineering firms I use all over the world, and it depends. Often we do it in whichever, because we're all over the world, so we do it wherever there's a clear demand, so you can ship it to the customer and say, is this what you want? How do we need to change it?
So is that how you bring product to the market often? It's desire or needs driven, and then it gets good enough that you go, okay, this is a bullseye, and I'm now going to show it to the rest of the world?
That's right. It's all about demand. We chug away selling loads of different mounts and stuff, and if serious customers say, look, if you had so another example is Microsoft have a product called Whiteboard, and they're talking about, they've rolled out a new product where they want a Logitech Brio camera on the ceiling in a meeting space, taking in the physical whiteboard, and then somehow they digitize it. So there's a very sudden demand for a ceiling mount for cameras. Well, we have projector ceiling mounts already, so we've just modified a bottom mount for the Brio. It's a very clear example of there's a demand. We're halfway there anyway. We already have the basis of the product. We can respond really quickly, and in that case, we're a Logitech partner, so we're getting information out of them too. For us, it's all demand. We don't just get away in a dark room and think about a great product and deliver it. We're talking to customers all the time. Otherwise, we'd produce junk and no one would buy it.
What are some of the winners and losers out of the pandemic, do you think?
I think a lot of little, it's going to be hard to know, but I think a lot of little resellers just can't keep existing, or they might roll into some bigger. I think there'll be some consolidation within those companies. I suspect that there will also be some consolidation within distributors as well, because smaller distributors just can't weather the storm either. They don't have the finances. But one thing that surprised me is how many companies just haven't been putting money away for a rainy day. So, and if you're little, you just can't weather this 3 or 4 month downturn, even with all of the assistance governments are handing out. So I think there'll be a move towards the bigger integrators and bigger distributors, and then the small guys are all that we're just going to have to go and work for those bigger people.
Some of the work practices that are now becoming something we're very accustomed to, Zoom meetings and the promise of VC being an actual experience that we can do in preference to meeting in person. Do you think some of these are now going to be baked into our work life a little more?
I work from home already, and I'm a massive fan of Zoom. I mean, you do too, don't you? So, to me, why would you go into the office for no reason? There's obviously, you can't completely do away with face-to-face meetings, but I think it's a great thing. I think the world needed. It's a bad situation, but one of the great things that will come out of it is businesses will be forced to allow more people to work from home, which is great for everything, traffic and all of those knock-on effects. But from a technology point of view, a lot of what Vision's distributors sell is solutions around conference rooms and huddle spaces and all of that, and our products are involved in that. That's great for our business, because I've seen it sort of for years. The industry, the AV industry, has been trying to get big corporates to get it, that they should be doing this more and more, and they just haven't. And now they have to, and they're going to look. It's going to change the world in our world for the better, I think. The other thing is too, we've got a situation where, you remember when early days in Skype for Business, it wasn't great. And now you've got Zoom's coming. Zoom's just a better product, I think, and so the barriers have dropped, because everyone was suspicious of Zoom when it sort of, or Teams as well, when it came in, and now finally people are just saying, let's embrace this stuff. Let's not forget about security. That's important, especially with Zoom's recent issues. But that's all something they can surmount. And so the quality of the experience, I just got sent a video today, and I've seen it before on YouTube, this skit where these actors are modeling an old-fashioned audio conference where people drop in and out, and it's just horrible. It's a horrible experience, and Teams has just changed the world, and for the better, and Teams and Zoom, I mean. Yeah.
For sure. Hey, thanks for taking the call and having a chat. It's always good
to
talk to you, and I wish you all the best for your business, and hopefully get to talk to you again on the other side.
Great. Thank you. Let's keep in touch.
Thanks, mate.